In life, I believe that everybody goes through certain boot camp experiences. Now, I would classify boot camp experiences as a process of trials that you have to overcome that end up benefiting you, and you actually learn a great deal from them. Now, I believe boot camp experiences can really be anything in somebody's life. It could be learning to stick to a weight loss program, fraternity initiations, or on-the-job training. I believe those are all situations of boot camp experiences. Today I would like to talk about my personal boot camp experience, which was actually going through basic training with the U.S. Navy, and today I would like to share that journey with you. Now, the first part of my boot camp experience was actually the trip to the naval facility where I will be doing basic training. The trip to the Navy facility was actually a very emotional one because my family dropped me off, and I'm very close to all of my family, my brothers, sisters, parents. We all have a very good relationship. So on the ride there, looking at everybody's face, knowing that I wouldn't be able to see them for about 2 or 3 months, it really kind of had me emotionally torn. Like I said, I'm very close with my family, so certain things like going to play basketball with my brothers, or just having talks with my parents, or eating breakfast with the family in the morning, all of that, I wouldn't be able to do that for a good couple of months because I would be in basic training. So all of that was going through my mind on the trip up to the naval facility, and it just kind of had me down because I was going to miss everybody. And that day, actually, the day I was dropped off at the naval facility, was the day that me and my girlfriend had made our relationship official. So all that going through my mind, it was really emotionally a lot. I knew I was going to miss her. I was going to miss out on spending time with her. So just everybody back home, I was just going to miss a whole lot. And the trip up there was really not enjoyable at all. So now the second part of my boot camp experience was adjusting to the lifestyle of basic training. As you know, basic training is not really meant to be a cakewalk. It really is meant to break you and instill some discipline into you for the military. So I really had a tough time with adjusting to all the rules and regulations. We would have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go on 2-mile runs and that sort of thing, and I'd really never been exposed to that type of lifestyle. So adjusting to that, it took a little time. I'm not going to say that I totally adjusted to it, but I got as far as I was going to get. So you had to get used to that type of thing, waking up at midnight to iron your clothes, certain things like that, just things that I wasn't used to doing back at home, we had to do in boot camp. So adjusting to that lifestyle was a little bit difficult for me. Also, the rigorous physical training that we had to endure during boot camp took a whole lot to adjust to. We would sometimes, before bed, we would exercise for 2, maybe 3 hours, just hard, intense exercising. So that I wasn't used to at all. I was already in pretty decent shape, but in the military basic training, they take you to the next level. They try to push you as far as they can, to see what you're made of. So I had to get used to that as well. Now, the third part of my boot camp experience was actually the basic training swim test. Now, before going into basic training, I did not know how to swim. So when I was introduced to this swim test, I was terrified. I was not a fan of the water at all. So before I even attempted to pass the swim test, I had to get over my fear of the water and being comfortable in the water. In basic training, I did not pass the swim test. So what actually ended up happening was I was removed from the unit that I was in, and I was placed into a special unit where they would teach me how to swim so I can go ahead and pass the swim test. And that was very difficult because that means I wasn't going to graduate basic training with all of my friends. I was going to have to graduate a little bit later. That means I couldn't see my girlfriend or my family until later than what was planned. But after I trained and I was taught how to swim, I went ahead and passed it, and there was really no feeling like that after conquering the water like that. And after that, I was able to graduate boot camp. And looking back at it, all the things that I had to endure, missing my family, having to conform to rules and regulations, having to adjust to the military's exercise and military's discipline and all their rules, and passing the swim test, I think it really made me a better well-rounded person. It taught me all sorts of discipline that I still instill in my life today, even though I'm not in boot camp. And it really just made me stronger. Boot camp makes you want to push on. It's not really for the weak. It's one of those things where after you graduate, you feel like you really have accomplished something great. And that type of feeling, it gave me an attitude where it makes me feel like I can conquer anything, that I can go get whatever I please. It really gave me a positive attitude that sticks with me today, and that I'm hoping will stick with me forever. So all in all, boot camp was probably one of the better experiences of my life, and I learned a great deal from it.